Hi, welcome to a review of the Cutco Sportsman's knife. If you watched my EDC video from several months ago, you know that this is the knife that I carry with me every day as my tactical folding blade. At that time I said I'd like to see a detailed review of this knife, and one of the viewers said, well, you own the knife, you need to do the review. Well, I'm not a knife expert, but I will try to at least cover the basic features of this knife in this video. Now, this isn't a knife that I specifically sought out to use as a tactical folding blade. What happened was I was talking to a Cutco salesperson about a set of kitchen knives, and we were very impressed with the quality of these Cutco knives. But at the time I was looking for a tactical folding blade, plus these knives were very expensive. So I asked, did they have any type of knife that could serve the purpose of a tactical folding blade, and that's when they brought out this folding knife. I liked it, and so I asked if they would throw it in with a set of 5 kitchen knives, and they did. So they were happy and I was happy. They got the sale on the set of kitchen knives. I got a knife that could serve the purpose as a tactical folding blade. This isn't the type of knife that I've typically carried, but I'm a pocket knife type of guy, and I brought along some pocket knives just to show you the type of knife I normally would carry. This is a Remington Trapper pocket knife, and this is one I've had probably 10 to 15 years. It's a little bit heavy for everyday carry, but this is the type of knife I would carry. A knife that I've used a lot, maybe more than any other knife in my lifetime, is this Victorinox grafting knife. I use it in my job. What's unique about a grafting knife is that you only sharpen one side. You don't sharpen the other side. And that just gives you more control as you're making a grafting cut on the scion material so that you don't slip and cut yourself. But I've probably used this to make hundreds, if not thousands, of grafts over my career. My favorite knife is this pocket knife. This is an Uncle Henry Stockman, and this was given to me by a company that's now out of business. The name of the company is printed on the blade, but this was given to me in return for some work that I did for the company. And just that the company's out of business makes this knife a little more special. Well, let's get into the basic features of this Cutco Sportsman's knife, and probably one of the most important features, at least to me, is printed right here on the blade, and that's that the knife is made in America, made in USA. The major components for the knife, the handle and the blade, are made in America. Some of the minor components like the torque screws, the pins, and the clip are made in Asia. The handle is made from a DuPont synthetic material called Zytel. It's very lightweight but strong. It doesn't have a metal liner, but it doesn't really need one. The only downside to the handle that I can see is just the lack of traction. There's absolutely no jimping on the top. There's no finger groove underneath, and the only traction that you have is on the very tip of the knife. For a utility knife, that's really not an issue. But if this did ever serve as a tactical folding knife, it would be more important to have better traction. The blade is sharp. It's a 440A steel. It's a hollow ground up to about a little past the halfway point. And probably the most notable thing about the blade is just the thickness of the metal. I'll try to show this, but the blade is at least, well, it's a full 1/8 of an inch thick, and it holds that thickness pretty much out to the tip. In fact, I'll hold another knife up against it, and it's probably thicker, twice as thick as any other knife blade that I have. It does take an edge and holds an edge fairly well, and I've used this knife a good bit. I tried to do a paper cutting test, You can see that it does take an edge and hold it. The clip is reversible. Right now it's mounted for a right-hand carry, but it can be reversed over to the left-hand side for left-hand carry. It has a standard lock-back design. It does lock up tight with very little wiggle up or down, or absolutely no wiggle up or down or side to side. In terms of deployment, it deploys easily with one hand, and it shuts easily with one hand. There's a pretty strong tension bar in the knife, though, that has to be overcome, and you can see where my finger stops and the tension bar takes over right about there. So it's a little more difficult to open fast with the snap of the wrist. It does take a good bit of wrist action to get it to open, but it can be done. I've really enjoyed using this knife as a tactical folder. I have to admit, though, it has been replaced. Shortly after I made that first video, I bought a Kershaw Blur that I used for probably 3 months as my tactical folder, and I really enjoy this knife. It's a beautiful knife to look at. I like the size. I have large hands and it fits in my hand fairly well. And at Christmas time, Santa Claus brought me this knife, an Almar Eagle, and I think I'm going to enjoy using this knife. This will be my primary tactical folder from here on out. But there's my 3 tactical folders that I've used in progression. Don't feel sorry for the Cutco Sportsman's knife, though, as now it's probably moving from a roll of tactical folder to one it's better suited for, and that's just a utility knife. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Cutco Sportsman's knife.